This is a Samurai Nation podcast on the Samurai Nation Podcast Network. Greetings, everybody. It's time for another episode of the Cool Podcast. We're here doing another episode. It's pretty cool. I'm excited to bring this one to you because we're on the new network. That's pretty exciting, and I'm excited about it. So I think I was told by Jeremy, who's our new producer, actually, helping produce the show along with some of the other shows on the Samurai Nation Podcast Network, was told that we had an intro that's going to be tacked onto the beginning of the show. So I don't know what that's going to be. I'm interested to see what it's going to be. So welcome in to the Cool Podcast. Thanks to all the patrons. We're going to get into some cool, fun stuff for the week. It's another episode. How about that? Of the Cool Podcast. All right. Well, what are we going to talk about today? We got some fun stuff. We got a lot of stuff. Hopefully we can cram all this into another episode. We've got all of our favorite segments to pull up here. We have some updates on a few things. So let's just get right into it. We just got to get right into it. We've only got so much time to do the Cool Podcast. So, last week was pretty fun. We had that big time interview, and that was great. That was very exciting. Some of the stuff we talked about was some crazy hacker stuff with our friend Paradox. He's our new friend of the show. He's a hacker guy. Go back and check that episode out with the interview. He's a hacker guy from the hacking group Notorious. And he told us a little bit about some of the hacking that has been going on these days, some of his theories as to what happened on our show. We've sent over the hacking logs, which is a text document you get after doing every stream. You get a hacker log that shows the ups and downs and the pings and the ins and outs and the different IP addresses that come through when you're doing a stream. And I didn't really know too much about that. Usually I just kind of file it away or just leave it in the inbox. But that is going to come into play because we sent that over to Paradox, and hopefully we're going to get a Paradox update. I believe I got a voicemail coming in the old Coolstream hotline. You remember that? Remember we had a Coolstream hotline? If you remember the number, you can call in and we'll do a voicemail. I'm going to just give you the number right now. If you want to, it'll be like, we'll play them during the show. I don't know if anyone's ever done that on a podcast. 601-653-COOL. 2665 is the Coolstream hotline. You can leave a voicemail. How about that? There's a new segment. I need like a ringing phone sound for that. The Cool hotline. All right, what's next? What are we going to do? Well, let's do some segments. We got new segments. We're going to blast through them. So we just started a new song here, so let's just do the sound alert because I wanted to revisit this, dang it, because it's a lot of fun. It's a fun segment. And let's just do the drop right now. It's the Bigfoot Facebook group. What do they got going on today on the Bigfoot Facebook group? The sound is still going. Let me just close that one out here. All right, the Bigfoot Facebook group is a group that I am a part of, proud member, joined up there the North American Bigfooters Research and Bigfoot Sightings. I thought we'd start this one off. I haven't checked on old Facebook in a long time. There's not a whole lot of good news to look at, except when you're in the Bigfoot Facebook group. So let's see what some of the posts are. Thanks for adding me to the group. You always see that one. They're very good about adding people to the group. Bigfoot encounter on Christmas 2014 in northern Minnesota. Wow. Now that has some footage there, so you might have to go check that one out yourself. I'm not going to show any footage. You can't see it. There might be some good sounds. The beginning of the clip, at the beginning and at the end, means the whole clip gets viewed. It's all about the money. Cool. All right, we're going to skip that one. Not interested in that. I got a Sasquatch sighting. KGW Archive, 1971 Sasquatch report. Okay. I like the posts that are about things that people have seen, like their own stories and stuff. But let's see what this one is. The Sasquatch sighting from 1971. Sasquatch report. It's only 6 minutes long. KGW. To interview some people, I guess that's a radio station, who claim to have seen the legendary yet elusive Yeti creature of Northwest lore, the KGW. I've heard of the KGB, and the reporter at KGW is John Tuttle. I've heard of the KGB as the KGW.
But before I stopped the car,
Entering Skamania is the town. They love ska over there, real big fish, and what are some of the other ones? Less than Jake.
swamping sound, and that's why I thought I had a flat. But I couldn't understand because we just put new tires on, and
This is kind of cool.
It could have been making a noise or beating on his chest or the pole. It was only about probably 1 foot from the pole.
You hear, in this area, you hear noises at night, I understand.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Lots
North
of
Cougar
noises.
noises. There are
There's some other kind of noises.
No. There's no noise to describe it, really, because I just never heard anything like it.
Wow.
Cougars don't make that noise. Bears don't. Elk or moose or whatever else around.
Something else is out there.
There's something else out there, okay.
Oh, man. It's the
And it's not
Bigfoot.
just at night, it's in the daytime, too, because they've been hearing them day, night, evening, mornings.
Good Lord. All hours of the
I know.
Do
day.
you see things? Is it just the noise?
Noises mostly, other than when I seen this
Needs
creature
to
down there.
shush up.
It's below Beacon Rock. There's a real wide shoulder just as you go across the bridge, and I just pulled up. I just knew I had a flat, but I couldn't understand. So I got
It's
out,
kind of a
and
cool video.
I always keep my right door locked. I get out on the left, and I go around
Keep my rifle strapped
with
on
my
me,
back
too.
to the woods, and I look up and under my car, around the wheel, no flat. So I feel up in
Uh-oh.
there, and while I'm feeling, I suddenly
feeling
turn
up the
around
car.
and I'm face to face with him. I mean, it just felt like there was something staring at me. Is why I looked.
And you were face to face with.
Eye to eye, just about 15 feet from me.
What was it?
It's Bigfoot.
I don't know. As far as I know, I suppose it'd be Bigfoot, but
That's all right.
he was the biggest animal I've ever seen.
It's big feet, too. It's kind of a cool video. Go check it out. It's worth a watch. It's KGW Archive, 1971 Washington Sasquatch Report. So it's an old news report. I'm going to have to go back and watch this. 1971. Some cool old footage, people talking about Bigfoot. So that's cool from the group. Thanks for whoever posted that. Darren Lee, and he's the admin of the Bigfoot Facebook group. These Sierra sounds. Oh, we love these. Oh man. Okay, this is good stuff. Here's another throwback. It's Throwback Thursday on the Bigfoot group, I guess. This is the classic Sierra sounds.
Waiting for Nightville.
We love these. These are crazy. I think you're gonna fast forward. Get some of the good sounds. Wow. 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 Cornholio. What? Wow. 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 It's freaky.
That's our deal. I don't know where we went for tracks.
Piss him off. Now that's just a monkey sound. That's the Sierra sounds. Remember that maybe from a long time ago. And the account here that posted this on YouTube, Mel Blanc. It's got a picture of the cartoon character. Cartoons. Ron Moorhead. And the Sierra Sounds is a classic Bigfoot sound. You got the crazy samurai. Hey, samurai. Samurai chatter is what they call that. Where you're going waka 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 wow. Bigfoot. It's a classic. And then they spliced in some monkey howler sounds just to be sure. You understood that this is an ape. It's not just a guy going waka chaka waka chaka wow. Don't like Avalanche Bob out there. Remember that guy? The Spotsville Monster. I got some good videos up here. You gotta join this. The Bigfoot Next Door. You gotta join this group. I'm telling you. It costs you nothing. Forensic expert says Bigfoot is real. This might have to be the last thing on the Bigfoot Roundup or whatever the hell it's called. So we get to some other stuff. We got the podcast Roundup coming up on our next segment. The Bigfoot has been a subject for many years, and it's asking me to sign up. Oh crap! This is from National Geographic. Well, it's a good thing we have a Coolstream email, so let's just sign up real quick. It's for business purposes. So we'll be getting some spam from National Geographic on the old Coolstream email, and I got to get the password from Jeremy on that. I don't think I have. Some of our logins are tied to that Gmail. I got to remember I'm going to write that down, get the password, make sure we can check some of these things out from the Gmail in case we're getting any emails from our fans. It's been a subject of campfire stories for many decades. A camera elusive grooming challenged bipedal ape man that roams the mountain regions of North America. Some call it Sasquatch. Others know it as Bigfoot. He's a hairy hominid. You've heard of Harry Hubbard. And where's the sound for that? I can't see.
Put down your...
That's not it. Anyway, you remember it. You can play it from memory. That famous quote from Harry Hubbard, who's on the last episode, the Coolstream Legends. Here it is.
I call myself a philobibliac.
A small but vociferous number of scientists remain undeterred. Risking ridicule from other academics, they propose that there's nothing forensic... Geez, I can't even talk today. They propose that there's enough forensic evidence to warrant something that has never been done. A comprehensive scientific study to determine if the legendary primate actually exists. Given the scientific evidence I've examined and convinced there's a creature out there that's yet to be identified. This is from Jeff Meldrum, a professor of anatomy and anthropology at Idaho State University. There's been thousands of sightings. And sure, why not? Let's investigate Bigfoot, but with the scientists. Who cares? Why not give it a try? He ain't hurting nobody out there. And here's an interesting thing here. This professor guy says a 400-pound block of plaster known as the Skookum cast provides further evidence of Bigfoot's existence. The cast was made in September 2000 from an impression of a large animal that had been laying down on its side to retrieve some fruit next to a mud hole in the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest in Washington State. The Skookum cast, isn't that in Philadelphia? The Skookle. Bigfoot's a Philly guy. That'd be pretty funny. Bigfoot going into Wawa, ordering a sandwich. So the Skookum cast has got some interesting impressions of a forearm. The anatomy just doesn't jive with any known animal. A few academics believe Meldrum could be right. Renowned chimpanzee researcher Jane Goodall last year surprised an interviewer from NPR when she said she was sure that large undiscovered primates such as Yeti or Sasquatch exist. And this is a thing this is how kind of Sasquatch goes. You've got, on one hand, you've got the biology people who are studying animals and wildlife and the different forests and habitats to try to get down to the real science behind Bigfoot. And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, nothing wrong with that. So that's the Bigfoot segment. Okay. So and I'm pretty juiced right now. I'm jazzed and I'm ready to go. As you can tell, I've got more energy than you could ever imagine. Ready to do another segment. This is fun. So we've got to get to this one. In fact, we're contractually obligated to get to this one. And let me make sure I have this pulled up, because it's the Samurai Nation is what we're a part of now. Samurai Nation. We love it. And we have to play a podcast from it now. Because we want to, because we love the Samurai Nation podcast network that we're a part of. And we're also kind of contractually obligated to do so. So we're going to jump into this podcast and play you a little bit of it. And hope everything is sounding good, because this is our big chance. We need this to work. And of course, it's a podcast and it's starring our friend, the Samurai Kid himself. I'm trying to tee it up as best I can. So let's do the intro and then we'll jump into this podcast. That's right. Here we go. It's the Podcast Roundup, where we play some cool podcasts on the Cool Podcast. Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy, the Samurai Kid. Man, it's been a crazy couple days this last week. As you know, we've officially launched the Samurai Nation Podcast Network, and the response has been totally nuts on social media. Shout out to the Samurai Nation for spreading all the love this week on social media. I want to give a big thanks to all those fans out there, and especially everyone working behind the scenes to help bring this thing to life. It's been one of my long-term goals to start a podcast network, and now we've finally been able to do it, guys. It's freaking awesome. So anyways, with all that said, I'd like to welcome everyone to the first episode of my new podcast, the one you're listening to right now. And maybe we need to edit that out because I kind of slipped up. Jeremy, can we edit that? Okay. Let me start over again. And with that said, I'd like to welcome everybody to the first episode of my new podcast. That's right, the one you're listening to right now. It's called The Dojo. On The Dojo, we'll be talking about some of the behind-the-scenes stuff from around the Samurai Nation Podcast Network. And we'll have interviews with fellow podcasters, some of our sponsors, and some of the behind-the-scenes help that we've got. And also maybe some of my streamer friends will jump in here too. It's going to be really awesome. So I'm excited to get things kicked off. And without further ado, let's get into the dojo, guys. All right. That was cool. That's the Samurai Nation podcast, The Dojo, with your boy, the Samurai Kid. Of course, it's a little behind-the-scenes podcast that he's doing where he's going to talk to some other podcasters, maybe me, maybe I'll be on it, and maybe some fellow streamers and some other behind-the-scenes people. It's The Dojo, the behind-the-scenes podcast with the Samurai Kid on the Samurai Nation Podcast Network. So that's pretty cool. And I think I'm gonna have to shoot an email over to Jeremy. Maybe this was the rough cut of the podcast, but if you notice, there's a little part in there where he kind of slipped up his words and told him to edit it out. And it wasn't edited out, but I don't know if this has gone up yet. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with the network. And maybe I should be sure of what's happening and be in the know. That would probably help our chances of rising up the ranks in the podcast world, to have our network fully behind us. That's kind of what you want to do when you're on a network. All right, so that was cool. That's the new podcast, the Samurai Nation podcast, The Dojo. Okay, so we got some other stuff. We got all of our favorite segments we're doing today, and we're making great time to get through some of these. So let's do one of the segments. Let's do another segment. Let me see if I can get my drop going here, and I probably should be a little more seamless about this and not talk about which drops I'm doing and stuff. But people kind of like that. It's a little bit different from some of these other ones. So here we go. It's Your Gusher is Gross. It's everyone's favorite new segment. Your Gusher is Gross. Ba-bum. So, it's Your Gusher is Gross. Blech. They're nasty. Gusher. It's a website where people post their companies, their startups, and you go in there and you apply to be a member of the team on the startup. And if the company does good, you get some equity in the company. It's kind of cool. So I did a little bit of digging after the episode last week because I thought this is just odd. And you know, this is just odd. I don't know what it is about the Gushers. You know, I just had an instinct, a feeling that this was just odd. And that's why I wanted to start doing this segment. And I just went with it. And that's, you know, that's what we do on the Cool Podcast. It's a little bit different than the Cool Stream. A little bit different. We can go down some different alleyways of weird and odd things on the web. So, what I figured out is that Gusher, the website, was started by this guy, Chris Joyce. And I don't remember if I said that on the last episode, but he started Gusher, and he's got all of his different Gushers on the website. So I went and checked out his social media, and I think I posted a link in the Cool Stream Discord to his social media. He has all these rants and raves and stuff. But I found that he was being interviewed on a podcast, and I thought this would be particularly relevant to the Cool Podcast because this one is called Hacked Audio from Josh Elledge from UpMyInfluence.com. Hacked Audio. The challenge in starting up with Chris Joyce. Confidential. It's got a picture of a hacker on it. So I'm like, whoa, I saw that. I know what it's like to go through hacking stuff. We had a hacker on last week. It's crazy these days. So I thought, man, we have to play this interview or part of this interview with Chris Joyce. And this is kind of like the podcast roundup and the Gusher is Gross all in one because we're playing a podcast. But this is called Hacked Audio from Josh Elledge from UpMyInfluence.com. Up your influence. So let's just play this real quick. Let's check it out. It's got some cool sound going here. Let's see what it sounds like.
Welcome back, listeners. It's Morse Code again. I'd like to say I'm coming to you from the comfort of my couch, but unfortunately, I'm stuck in the bunker again today.
What?
Specifically, I'm stuck in the bunker's ventilation system. Vents always look so spacious and easy to crawl through in the spy movies, but it's pretty much all a lie. I've lost the feeling in my legs 3 hours ago. It's just pins, needles, and pain. Also, from my time in here, I've determined that Josh has a massive pest control problem. I've seen so many rats today. On the bright side, I'm staring straight down at Josh. Watched him watch cat videos for hours before a guest arrived. His name is Chris Joyce, CEO of Gusher. Another mastermind for Josh's plan, I'm sure. Oh,
what?
They're starting. Here we go, listeners.
Here we go. So Josh is a hacker? I'm confused. And who's stuck
All
in
right,
the...
Chris, thank you so much for
Someone is stuck in the air ducts or something?
How was your flight, by the way?
We're in the
My
lair.
flight was amazing, Josh, especially coming to
And I apologize, as I do with all of my guests. As you know, I'm on this top secret Napoleon Hill project. And, so I apologize for all the intense security, but I just know that, as I hand selected these greatest minds on this subject, I just know that there would be utter chaos in the world if this information got out. And so it's really important
confidential
that we kind
stuff.
of decide how we release this, just to make sure that we don't cause too much chaos in the world. Economies would, imagine what would happen to economies if they had all of this.
That would
they
be
would
crazy.
crumble. But I just wonder if putting on the blindfold went a little too far.
Put down your cocks.
Yep. And what you don't know is, we've got the Men in Black too, and they'll have you stare at a little stick
Men in
pin
Black?
too,
What?
and so that way you'll have no memory of this.
I'm good with that.
And so Chris, so you're the founder and CEO of Gusher, and
Gusher.
Can you just, so from your perspective, I'm going to be taking notes here. What led you to Gusher, and then just go ahead and
Gusher.
for my notes' sake here, kind of explain what Gusher does.
What the hell is it?
And we're not we're not talking about the candy Gusher, although those are delicious.
That's Gushers. But yeah, sure. Gusher itself, was born out of
he
some
knows the
monstrous
copyright
partner
on that.
failure.
Gushers.
So to make a long story short, I had what's called a landmine partner. A landmine partner is just like its name sounds, is one of those things where you're stuck in the middle of nowhere and you suddenly hear a click and you realize you're on a landmine. And you kind of have almost two options. One, if you lift your leg, you're going to blow up and probably die. And the second is you're stuck out in the middle of nowhere and you can't move your leg, so you're going to have to survive for a while. And Gusher was one of those scenarios where I had always done what are called time equity type of deals, but it was really out of desperation that we put Gusher out there into the world to go ahead and give it a shot. And sure enough, it just started working.
Wow.
So the concept behind Gusher, can you explain it in your words? Because it's when I look at it, I don't know.
I still don't understand.
I don't know how you've been able to pull this off, quite frankly, because it seems like one of those, like, you know, if this could only work in a perfect world, but it's so hard to connect these entities in a way where it actually can work. I'll let you explain it.
Yeah,
What
sure.
the hell is this?
Think of Gusher as this way. I'm going to ask you one question, Josh. What's the biggest barrier that most people think is when it comes to starting a business? What's the number one barrier?
I got one.
And you say money. All right? Because
Well, I mean, I would say money, you know, because there's always so much that you want to do.
I would say money, but I'm
you know,
rich.
in our
Got
world,
a
I see
bunch of
so many.
money.
I mean, pretty much everyone's bootstrapping in my world.
Sure. But think
And-
it this way, though. If you're doing like a standard startup, what is that money used for? You know, the number one thing that money is used for is people. So
People.
in openness
People
and
need
transparency,
money.
if you're really doing a startup, your number one barrier that you have to overcome is people. Well, Gusher solves that. People come together and they work for equity in the startup to bring it to life. It's as simple as that. So you don't need money. You don't need capital. What you need is people to go ahead and bring your idea to life, to be able to unlock that idea, whatever it is inside your head, and actually bring it to market. If you have
Inside your twisted head. So, basically what Gusher is people working for free to get the startups off the ground. And what happens after that? What happens if the startup fails? Well, just on to the next one. It's I guess it's incentive for people to do really good at doing the startup so that it'll make money so that they can get some equity and they can get a profit, I guess. And it seems like it would take a long time for money to be generated with a company like that to then start making money. I don't know. Don't really know how it works. You don't need money or capital. What you need is people to go out and unlock your idea and bring it to life with Gusher. And here's some of, aside from being the founder of Gusher, Chris is also the founder of 24 other companies in various industries. And here's some of the companies: Exert, Movi, Usurp, Carebox, Upvice, and Oh So Low Foods. Yeah, check that one out. Let's just do a little side tangent. I wanted to get into the guy who hosts the Hacker Podcast and understand what the heck is his thing all about. Oh So Low Foods. Oh So Low Foods. I don't see anything So Low Foods. We've got the hotspot at So Low Foods in BC, British Columbia. I don't know if that's the right one. It's a very specific name here. Here's it from Trademarkia. It says dead, circa 2000. Oh So Low Foods, Inc. One record of that company, and it says Oh So Low, low carb. Oh So Low, low carb. Trademark information: muffins, breads, pasta, ravioli, pizza, and crackers. Low carbs, and it was founded in Feasterville, so I don't really know where that is. Very interesting. Filing date in the year 2000, so they're going way back in Feasterville. The hell is that? PA. So this guy's from he's from Delaware, so I guess it makes sense. Oh So Low Foods, low carb, Feasterville. Feast your eyes on that. Okay, so that one I wouldn't be bragging about, being a founder of some weird low-carb thing that went out of business 20 years ago. So, branching off of that hacker podcast, we only get into who this guy is. The guy who's a hacker and who has this hacker podcast, Up My Influence. Up Your Influence. What's his name here? Josh Elledge. UpMyInfluence.com. We grow your own authority, influence, and revenue. Authority plus influence plus connections equals sales.
You need to understand what I'm about to tell you because the marketing apocalypse is all around us. Trust in marketers is at an all-time low. Research shows a declining trend where less than 50% of consumers trust what you have to say. Skepticism in anything you say is at an
skeptics out
all-time
there.
high. Well, hi, I'm Josh Elledge, and for many, many years, I've been a syndicated newspaper columnist, syndicated TV consumer expert, and an accomplished speaker. And I've also founded and led 2 very successful companies. I lead and study consumer behavior. Now, your potential customers have never worked harder to avoid your ads because we're swimming in them. The average American
Ads are
consumer
everywhere.
is exposed to over
Hate
700
ads.
brand messages daily, according to the American Marketing Association. We hate being sold
hate
to.
ads.
We hate getting sucked
hate it.
into impersonal sales funnels.
I hate getting
we
sucked.
Hate getting salesy email autoresponders. We hate spammy DMs, and we
hate
will do
spammy
anything
DMs.
to block your annoying ads.
That's right. We'll block your ass if you try to sell your ads to me. This guy's cool. Up My Influence. He's a hacker. I'm going to find out some more about this hacking stuff. But he also started this conference called podcastmovement.com, the world's largest community of podcasters. Podmov. Podmov Daily, sponsored by UStudio. Podmov Daily, Friday, April 17th, episode 186. Friday guest feature, listening to yourself for personal and podcast benefit. This Friday's guest article is from podcast journalist creator Will Williams is about letting go. Chances are many of us have fallen short of flawless work from home productivity. How can podcasters adjust their expectations and stay healthy? Once Williams began embracing their own natural patterns of energy, the benefits were clear. In the months since going from working a day job to being a full-time writer and podcaster, this is good advice for me. I've gotten plenty of tips on how to stay sane and focused while working from home. Here's the thing. These lists of tips act like they work perfectly for every person. They don't. Even if you have an inflexible work schedule, other adjustments can provide much needed peace. Listening to your own needs is easier than it sounds. Above all are these wise words. Pay attention to what your brain and body are telling you. They'll give you better advice than any stranger on the internet. That's some good advice. Here's another article. Vancouver senior podcasters powered by age to create the 411 Senior Society in Vancouver. And it says here that the president is Turbo Dong 420. All right. Just a little slam. Just a little slam on Turbo real quick. The podcast movement. I think this is one of his websites, Josh Elledge. And it has to do with podcasts, so we had to check it out. We'll go back and look at some other stuff here, see if it's has anything to do with what we're doing. And it has everything to do because it's about podcasting. World's largest community of podcasters. And it has events, articles, and a buying how-to. Best podcast microphone is under the how-to. We already got our podcast microphone right here. So, that's been the Gushers. Let's do one more segment. This one has been freaking me out. This one here. Let's do the... It's the Weird News Update. It's weird. It's weird. So, last week on the Weird News, we looked at Magellan TV and that they're offering our one crime lover is going to get $1,000 for binging 24 hours of crime documentaries. What? Whoa, that's pretty cool and crazy. So, I was looking at their social media because I wanted to see, is anyone taking part in this? I think it ends on May 5th, so I wanted to keep track of what's going on Magellan TV with their contest about watching 48 hours. It says 24 hours, but then they came back and said, actually, it's 48 hours because you need to sleep. We don't want anyone staying up all night. I think their lawyers got back to them and said, hey, you maybe shouldn't tell people to stay up all night because it's not healthy. So they changed it. And I got into some of their replies. Some people applying for it, so we're going to check back and see who wins and who's watching the Magellan TV. Here's one from Timothy Wilson. To Magellan TV docs and true crime doc fans, my name is Tim Wilson. At Timothy J. Wilson 5. I've recently applied for the 24-hour true crime documentary position. I won't deny that my attempts to be known public before Magellan TV chooses a candidate is in my interest. My motive is to be accepted by Magellan TV and the public so I can have the opportunity to express positive input on the issue of crime and justice. I'm willing to put up $400 of my winnings to support the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Okay, that's pretty good. And he's also willing to put up $400 for another thing and $200 to purchase sweaters for missing children. It'll be used by his wife, daughter, and to be used to witness in public for the recognition of missing children. I would give Magellan TV full control of these transactions, and he wants the opportunity to be chosen to fulfill his passion for criminal justice. So he's going to give all the money for charity. Whoa, that's pretty good. That's probably what you should be doing, and it's really putting the ball in the court of Magellan TV to pick him so that they will be the ones giving the donation to these charities that he's listed there. So that's kind of cool. What are some other replies here? The Magellan account is getting crazy with some of the replies. Let's see. I think we found a winner. Sign me up. Please sign up. Let's see. Well, maybe there's not as many funny stuff here on their website, on their replies. So, all right, well, let's just... Oh, here we go. I actually got 6 hours of sleep last night, going to bed, going to be so high functioning today. At Magellan TV's 4 to 5 hours of sleep. As you can see, I'm a sleepless machine who runs on caffeine and a whacked out nervous system. Sleep means nothing to me, and I could easily stay up for 24 hours watching true crime, as I post these tweets at 6 a.m., having been up since 4:30. Magellan TV replied, secretly, the winner will have 48 hours to complete the 24 hours. We don't want anyone to be too unhealthy. And then... Wait, what? This is weird. This person keeps tagging Magellan TV, Tina Hartnett. Someone just told me I should be in commercials, being that I'm racially ambiguous. Oh no. And I was like, yeah, true, but then walked away like, wait, what? Are their producers really just searching for racially ambiguous people to star in their toothpaste and tampon commercials? Or is this a thing? And then they went and tagged Magellan TV. So it'd probably make a good pick, too, being that I'm racially ambiguous, you know? I don't know what even I mean, really, but what the hell? Just throwing it out there. Then Magellan TV responds and says, for me, it's the fact that you have a phone case with pizza all over it. Okay, this is weird. I don't like this person talking about how they're racially ambiguous. It's kind of strange. At Tina Hartnett. Oh, here's their top pin post. Only word I want to hear when I wake up hungover. Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup on an everything bagel. At New Jersey Governor. At New Jersey Gov. Interesting account here. Okay, she keeps tagging Magellan TV after every single post. So my mom's fam is in politics in the Philippines. While visiting, I stayed with her aunt, who's mayor. Lady seemed badass, so I googled her and found out that she was being investigated for hiring her son to kill her opponent. Article titled, "We May Kill Her If She Were Winnable." Hashtag BDE. And then at Magellan TV Docs, oh, look here, I happen to come from a family of crime myself, so wouldn't that bring an interesting twist to it? Maybe? No? Irrelevant? Okay. Good Lord. I need to stop tagging Magellan TV. But they keep responding. And Magellan TV responded, definitely interesting. Oh, man. Okay. One more from Tina. Says, as you can see, I liked this tweet last year as a display for my love of true crime. Oh, she liked the Chrissy Teigen tweet. True crime docs are not at all keeping up with my personal demand. She said, I like this tweet as a display for my love of true crime. Probably don't hire Chrissy Teigen since she has kids and stuff. 24 hours of TV is hard for moms, you know. Magellan TV responded and said, 24 hours of anything is hard for moms. And speaking as a mom, if I could hire a babysitter, watching 24 hours of crime docs might be the number 3 thing on my list that I'd want to do. Numbers 1 and 2 are both sleep. So they're definitely trying to make sure people don't stay up for 24 hours to watch this crap. All right, well, my big update here. I've gotten a little bit off track, but I'm very, for some reason, interested in these $1,000 giveaways. And so I saw something pop up on my Facebook that was advertising another $1,000 giveaway, and I thought, what? I thought that was only Magellan TV doing that, but no, not the case. Ultimate Dream Job, get paid to binge watch Harry Potter and Fantastic Beast. $1,000 from edsmart.org. Ultimate Dream Job. Pay you $1,000 to watch every Harry Potter movie and Fantastic Beast movie from start to finish. Will the real Harry Potter fans please stand up? Bop, bop, bop. Here at EdSmart, we realize that most people could use a little magic right now, and we love Harry Potter. Most of the Muggle world is struggling with self-isolation and not having a normal routine, like we're all living in the cupboard under the stairs at 4 Privet Drive, Little Winging. Don't know what that means. We realize at this time we can't all head to Diagon Alley to stock up on goods, nor Hogwarts to be with our friends. So in light of all that's going on out there and in our homes, we've decided to pay up to 5 Muggles, Mudbloods, and Magic Folk $1,000 each to watch every Harry Potter and Fantastic Beast movie, The Ultimate Dream Job. The right candidate will be chosen by the Sorting Hat. We'll be watching 10 movies, 25 hours, 40 freaking thousand minutes, $41 an hour. So they're making this look as though like it's a job, and I guess that's what is enticing to people. Like you'll get a job, you'll get $1,000, you'll get a Harry Potter marathon survival kit, which is some butterbeer and caramel corn containers, some jelly beans, Gryffindor Snuggie stainless steel tumbler, a $100 Grubhub card. Wow! Every Harry Potter Blu-ray movie for your collection. Complete 8-film collection. Holy crap. And $1,000? All right, this is actually starting to sound pretty good. So you can put in your application for the Harry Potter thing. This is in Utah, edsmart.org. Ultimate Dream Job void where prohibited. There's no entry fee. So you got to go to EdSmart. The closing date will be May 15th. Select up to 5 recipients from a pool of eligible entries. The recipient will be notified from email 7 days of the closing date. Okay, here we go. The recipient acknowledged that participation in the Ultimate Dream Job will be as an independent contractor. What? No agency, partnership, joint venture, or employee-employer relationship is intended or created by the acceptance of the Ultimate Dream Job. Interesting. Not eligible to participate in any vacation, group, medical, or life insurance. They're not responsible for withholding or paying any income, payroll, Social Security, or federal, state, or local taxes. So you gotta pay your taxes on your gifts. You gotta watch all the movies. You get your welcome package. What's the catch here? You'll receive a one-time payment of $1,000. And you have to be. They're going to use your name in any publicity material. Interesting. So that's the $1,000 one from EdSmart. But then we got another one. Want to make $1,000 in 17 days? Watch 20 hours of Ozark. This is from the internetadvisor.com. I've been watching this show. It's pretty good. Hey, the podcast isn't over. Shush. I'm not done reading these $1,000 giveaways. There's another one for want to make $1,000 in 17 days? Watch 20 hours of Ozark. This is exciting stuff, guys and gals and people of all shapes and sizes and orientations. You can watch 20 hours of Ozark. I've been doing that for the last couple weeks. It's a great show. I'm not going to read the details in case there are any spoilers. You watch 20 hours, 20 episodes. Ozark season 1 and 2. And I'm watching season 5. So this was back in March 27th, I guess, before season 3, excuse me. What's the catch? No entry fee. Closing date March 27th. So this one already happened. Winner will be selected from the entire pool of eligible entries. Alright, the winner must complete a report about their experience before being rewarded the prize. The promoter of this competition is internetadvisor.com. Rendered want to make $1,000 in 17 days? That's easy stuff. But that's all you get is $1,000. So you thought that was it? Well, frontierbundles.com did the one where you binge Friends and get $1,000. What? So these things are going on along across the web. Frontierbundles.com is an authorized retailer of Frontier Communications. They will sponsor a year-long Netflix subscription if you win the Friends contest. I love the contest. You'll get a Friends Fandom Fun Bag also. The winner will be selected from the entire pool of eligible entries. The winner agrees to provide FrontierBundles.com with a worldwide irrevocable perpetual license to use only images, videos, or tweets that they send us or post as part of this contest. Wow, they get to take all your tweets. All right, well, that was the podcast. That was oh, wrong one. That's coming up at the end. Well, that was the podcast. Anyway, I just got down the wormhole of some of these $1,000 contests for watching stuff. I don't know why. I can't explain it. It has nothing to do with anything except it's from the weird news. So anyways, that was just me reading off $1,000 contests about watching TV shows. So hope you enjoyed this episode of the Cool Podcast. We'll see you next week on the Cool Podcast. Thanks for listening. Thanks to the patrons. We'll see you next time on the Cool Podcast.
That was a Samurai Nation podcast on the Samurai Nation Podcast Network.